Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I am so excited for today's video because the new palette from Beauty Bay, the Botanical palette, showed up at my door today and I decided we're going to play around, try it out, see what the shades look like swatched and just play around with it. But you guys, before we jump into it, if you're new here, make sure to hit the subscribe button down below. Hit the bell for notifications, new videos. And if you like this video, make sure you hit a big thumbs up. But if you want to see how I got this eye look using the new Botanical palette from Beauty Bay, just keep watching. Okay, you guys, I think it's been a while since I've actually filmed with something from Beauty Bay, and they have recently released the Botanical palette. Looking at this online, the color story is very like muted down and subdued, kind of, when I'm looking at some of these matte shades. The shimmers are very beautiful. I love the formulation that Beauty Bay has. Very affordable. I want to say, okay, so this is a 20 color palette, and I want to say it's roughly between like $20 and $25 for the palette itself. Now, I love their shades. The other thing is, it looks like there's a good balance between mattes and shimmers. I tend to lean more towards shimmers, but I know there's a lot of people who do absolutely love mattes. That's not everyone's vibe, but I feel like there's a little bit of everything in here for each person. So I do want to swatch them. I'm looking at the shades. There's kind of like a mossy green, a little like pastel mint, peach, mauve, gray, brown. Like you've got a little bit of everything in here. So let's swatch the shades, see what we want to do, and I'm excited to dive into this. Okay, you guys, swatches did not disappoint. There is one though, the last shade, last row shade Dune on my arm. And I'm not even sure if when I go to put the names in of what they are, if I'm going to remember that it's there because it disappeared on my skin. It is a really pretty like peachy tan shade. It disappeared completely. I can barely see it right now. Now, the mattes are really pretty. I love the shade Myrtle, which is kind of like that jungle green. And then the shade Artichoke, which is a beautiful green shimmer. That would be a fun duo, as well as the shade Waterfall, which is next to Myrtle. It has an interesting shift. It's got like a blue-green to like a lime green glitter shift. It's quite stunning. The shade Savannah, I feel like I could get a lot of use out of that for work because it's that subdued pinky champagne tone. And then I captured a cat. The shade Fall is also really pretty. So those two shades I would be able to wear every day for work. Now, Quartz is one of those, it looks like it could be one of the Scarab shades. So it has a shift to it. It has the, you guys, my allergies are acting up. It has the deeper tones, kind of like a greeny brown, but then it has pink and gold glitter. The shift is so beautiful, and I'm loving the shade Amazon, another deep green glitter. This one has more glitter particles than the shade Artichoke, which is just mostly a smooth shimmer. There's so many beautiful shades. Canyon, gorgeous, like a cantaloupe peachy orange. So beautiful with like particles of pink and gold glitter on orange shimmer shadow. I'm excited to dive in. I think I'm gonna steer away from the blues and grays today. I kind of want to use Myrtle and Waterfall, play around with those fun shades and see what I can come up with. But let me go prime my eyes, get a more definitive answer, and we will play around with some eyeshadows. Okay, you guys, after very short deliberation over the shades, I think I have a way forward. And I don't think it's anything I've done recently. The first shade I'm going to go into is Mushroom. I was looking at some of these shade names and I'm like, oh, okay. I mean, granted, the palette is the Botanical palette. So we're going to put that straight into the crease in the outer V. I think I'm going to go a little more like grungy today than I normally do. You guys, I'm getting down to the wire. Granted, by the time you see this, I will probably already be in Germany. But the wire is close and I need to get my butt in gear. I have gone and like made sure my uniforms are good. I had to get one of my jackets needed the name updated, so I've done some of those things, just double checking. The good thing is I'm not going on a ship where if I don't have it, I'm kind of out of luck, but I can thankfully order, or there's a grocery store that I can go pick things up at. So that's the other thing. I've been talking to my cousin who's already over there. And he's like, yeah, like, you can have Amazon delivered to you, no problem. Just switch over to the European version. And I was like, easy day. I can do that. So I am looking forward to it. I did pick up, I don't know how you guys feel about like where you get your sheets. Just a second. I'm going to go into the shade Myrtle. This one I'm going to pick up on my fluffy crease brush before we deepen it up a little bit. But I went to Target and I picked up my sheets. And I thought about, I was like, oh, I could wait till I get there. No, because I also know what the like military exchanges have. And they're okay, but you're limited on like what you can get. Granted, I'm going to go from a king size bed to a twin for 8 months. There is nothing wrong with that. It's the size of the bed that I have when I am on the ship, but it's just so funny to go from having so much space to not a lot of space. Although I have been told like I don't move when I sleep, and that is probably from being on the ship in a rack that if I fall out of my rack, I'm falling like 2 stories. Not 2 stories. A middle rack is probably like 3.5, 4 feet off the floor, and a top rack is about 5.5, 6 feet off the ground. So like you just don't move. But I'm excited. I did go and pick up my sheets. The best sheets, the microfiber ones from Target, love those. I have them for my bed here. I had them when I had my rack on the ship. I went and picked some up the other day. I picked up a little quilted blanket. Do I want to take up that space in my suitcase? Not really, but I also want to make sure that I have something warm to cover up with when I get there. All right, that's a good build. I do want to deepen it up, so we're going to switch to my compacted smudge brush. My So2 is just chilling on my lap right now. Oh, Gio. I think she knows something is up. That's the only thing. I can't tell because she's either mean or she's nice. There's no in between. And right now she's being very lovey. Alright, I think I want to deepen this up just a little bit. I'm going to use my pencil brush for this one. I'm going to go into the shade Oak. This one I'm going to pick up ever so slightly on my pencil brush and just in the outer corner, deepen it up a little bit. Alright, so we kept lots of the brighter green with that shade Myrtle, but with Oak, it's deepened it up just a little bit in the outer V. Nothing too smoky or intense. Now into the shade Waterfall. This shade is so beautiful. There's part of me that's like, ooh, should I mix it with something else? But then part of me is like, no, just use that as the focus. And I think that's what I'm going to do, is take this stunning shade and focus it. Oh, that shade is so beautiful. Taking my dry brush, finessing the inner corner. Or if you have a silicone brush, which you guys, I know I've been talking about, oh, I've been trying to find these. I found them the other day. They were in my carry-on makeup bag. I'll see if I can grab it. So2 is not a fan of me moving right now. Yep. Bye. So this is one of my like travel makeup cases. I opened it up randomly. I found it and I was like, oh, I haven't used this in a while. I opened it and sure enough, all 3 of my silicone brushes were in there. These make it so easy to pick up shimmers, glitters, and place them. So I'm going to use the very thin one. I don't know if you can see how thin it is. But it just kind of works like a spatula. Picks up the shade and you can place it down like it's your finger. And it's just as intense. Whereas a dry brush with bristles can mute it down a little bit because the color gets stuck in the bristles. The silicone brushes, which these are from Sephora. This actually came as a pair. So you have one that's nice and flat and easy to like get into the corner, and then you have one that's a little bit more rounded. These are great. And it just kind of acts like your fingertip, but more precise, especially when you're trying to get right here in this inner corner. See, and it's got the same intensity as everything else. Nothing is diffused, nothing is lost. All right, this eye, some base products, I'll be back. Okay, so base products are pretty much done. Now I just need to finish off this eye, and I'm really loving this green shade. I also just realized I forgot to deepen up this outer corner. I'm gonna have to touch it up anyways when I go and do everything else because of the base products being applied. Now, there's part of me that's like, ooh, let's play around with some color underneath here. I'm kind of wanting to play with the shade Clay. So this shade right here, Clay, is what we're going to drag the entire length just to add some dimension and variation. Oh, I'm liking that. And it blends out so nicely to a very pale shade if that's what you want. I do want it to be a little bit deeper though. Now into the shade Myrtle. We're going to take this on my little compacted smudge brush before I switch over to the larger one. And just right here to kind of get that blend. You guys, I have my door shut and I can hear Dixon outside the door. But Sochu's asleep in her tower. And I want to open the door, but also Luke is downstairs. So usually Dixon is snuggling with him, but I can hear him outside the door and I want to let him in, but I know Sochu would be so mad at me. I really like that. Alright, and then I'm going to switch over to my larger compacted smudge brush into Myrtle. Just right here, just on the edge. You guys, the weather was decent today. I say decent. It was just like warm with like smattering of rain here and there. Now it's like torrential downpour and the trees are like blowing sideways. We're not supposed to get a hurricane or a tropical storm, but you wouldn't know that by the way it's storming outside. And now into the shade Oak. On my little pencil brush, just wiggle it into the outer V, just a smidge. Just a smidge on this side because it's been deepened up a little bit. I noticed it on this side, I was like, I'm missing something. And that's the problem with not doing my eyes consecutively, where I do one eye and then I do the next one. I had to remember what I did. But Luke and I are probably just going to stay home tonight, especially because the weather is so crappy. I think I'm going to be making keto Big Mac smash burgers tonight. They're one of his favorites, and I don't think I've made them in probably the last 2 weeks. We were on a point where like he was on such a kick for him, I swear every week. And sometimes he'd be like, oh, we should have them. And I was like, babe, we just had them 2 days ago. let me miss them. But right now I'm trying to like make all the things that I usually make so that when I'm gone, he's not like, maybe he'll ask me for the recipe and make them himself. I don't think so, but we'll see. Now, I do need to do inner corner and brow bone. I think I'm going to use a shade in the palette. I'm going to use the shade Savannah. This one is that beautiful like pinky champagne. And if it doesn't pick up well on this brush, I will switch over to the silicone spatula. It's got a pop. Let's see the difference when I do it with the silicone. All right, so we'll go over here because I haven't. Not too bad. They seem to be like fairly similar. You guys, it is coming down out there. Sochu, she just woke up. She's like, I don't like this. All right, and now for the brow bone. Ooh, it's so beautiful, very shimmery. I do have a different highlighter on my cheek than what is on my brow bone and inner corner. Any face products that I didn't discuss are linked down below, so definitely check those out. All right, I need to go do brows, liner, mascara, and lips, and I will be back with the final look. Okay, you guys, this is the final look, and I'm really liking how it turned out. The eyes are so pretty. And I tend to gravitate towards like blues and pinky tones, neutral browns, but the green and the shade Waterfall is playing so well with that green shade, just dancing around with the gold and the bluish hue to it. I really like how my eyes turned out. I want to know, are you guys going to pick up this palette? Have you seen it on Beauty Bay? It didn't take long for it to show up at my door after I ordered it. And 20 shades, I want to say it's only like $20 or $25. It's not that expensive. Beauty Bay palettes have beautiful formulations, stunning shades, and are super affordable. Let me know if you're picking it up. Let's have that conversation. But you guys, that is it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. If you're new here, make sure to hit the subscribe button down below. Hit the bell for notifications of new videos. And if you like this video, make sure to give it a big thumbs up. Until my next video, you guys, bye. I'll see you in the next one.